Yo, what's going on YouTube? This video is pretty simple. This is just a killer Mori tier list. I'm just going to be going through it. We're going to be watching every single killer's Mori individually, and then we're going to be rating them on this tier list just based on my opinion, right? This has nothing to do with actual like facts or anything about like balance. This is just what I think is the coolest, basically, right? I'm not even really sure how I'm going to be grading them yet because I don't really know like what I like or don't like. Like I feel like I'm going to find out some things about myself throughout this video because I feel like some of the more like brutal Moris are the ones that I like the most. So I feel like I'm going to find out some weird like sick desires of mine or something. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to rate them. Like maybe the more brutal, the better. Maybe like we'll find, I'll say as much. We'll find out some stuff about me along the way. Okay. I should probably say that I'm going to be rating them based on their point of view from the survivor perspective because I think it's a lot better from the survivor perspective than the killer. Some killers have a first person Mori, like for instance, Trapper. I think a lot of the beginning killers have this. They have like a Mori where when you're playing as killer, you see it in the first person, whereas when you're playing as a survivor, you see it third person. Some killers have third person, like no matter what, like people like Slinger, you know, people like Spirit. Theirs is third person no matter what. So I'm gonna be basing them all off the survivor's point of view because I think that's the better point of view. And I also want to say that I'm not gonna be judging Pyramid Head's mini Mori or Onryo's mini Mori. I'm only gonna be doing the main Moris. So without any further ado, let's just get started. Let's watch Trappers and let's start with this one. Let's do it. I mean, you know, I don't know, man. It's just kind of boring, right? Like, it's kind of boring. Like, he just kind of puts, like, he puts his foot on you, right? Like, he puts his foot on you. Cool, man. And then he just kind of slashes. And you're like, ah! Oh, God. Oh, God, I'm dying. I'm dead now. Oh, God, I'm dead now. I don't know, man. Kind of boring. Not really a big fan of it. It's kind of like, again, a lot of these newer killers are, at least the first three. When this game first released, it was just these three killers. That's it. There was no other killers. And it took a while. It took like a few months before Nurse came out. And when the game first came out, the Moris were all kind of boring. I don't think, like, again, I don't even know if the devs ever expected this game to take off. So they probably just put in like minimal effort. So yeah, these first three are not going to be great. They honestly need to rework. They need to rework these guys as Moris. But I don't want to spoil too much yet, and I'm just going to say that this Mori is probably one of the worst, if not the worst. So it's definitely going in D tier. Undeniably going into D tier. Okay. Getting dragged away. Ooh, see, okay, see, now this is the... Okay, what's interesting about this is you might be like, oh, this is pretty much the same thing, right? It's just, like, boring. He just, like, slashes them on the back. But I gotta say, there's some like cinematic value here, right? Like the camera, 100% the camera placement on this Mori is significant. Like look at like where it starts, right? It starts like zoomed in on the survivor. You're like on their face, right? And you can see the Wraith in the background, and he like pulls you back, right? He pulls you into him, and you're like, oh God! And then the camera pans up to the Wraith, and you don't see the survivor, right? You just see blood splatter, but you don't actually see the survivor. So you're just seeing him whack away and you just hear somebody dying like off screen. And that like kind of adds a little bit of like, I don't know, mystery, I guess. So I think that's kind of sick, right? Like that's kind of cool. I think undeniably it's still kind of boring though, right? Like it is like the actual killing method itself is literally just slashing them on the back with your weapon, you know? So it's still boring. Although I will say compared to Trapper, it's like miles better. So I'm going to put it in C tier. I mean, I don't think it's miles better as in like A tier miles better, but I'm going to at least put it in C tier. It's definitely better than Trappers, that's for sure. Like the camera cinematics at least make it seem a bit like freakier than the Trappers who's just like, oh, I'm getting slashed on the back. Oh, damn, you know? Okay. All right. This one's like... this one, I'm torn on this one, man. I am torn on this one. Again, it's kind of boring. It's kind of cool. It kind of has a little bit of both, right? It just feels like a weird in-between of Trapper and Wraith. Where, like, he walks up, he puts the foot on the back. The camera does pan up a little, but it's not like... The camera work is not as good as Wraith Mori's camera work. But, like, it's still pretty sick, right? Like, he chainsaws you. You're still mostly off camera. He's, like, chainsawing the shit out of you. And then he's like, he's done, and he just kind of gives you like a look, right? Like he stands above you, and he just like gives you this look of like, yeah, that's right, bitch. I'm Hillbilly. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? You know? And like, I don't know. There's something that just makes Billy seem like such a badass with this Mori. You know what I mean? Like there's something about like his movements and the way that he like looks at you when he's done. He's just like, yeah, Yeah, that's right. You know, so I don't know. Like, it's weird. I like it. I don't think the camera work is quite as good as Wraith's, but I still think it's better than Trapper's by far, for sure. It still does kind of do the kill off camera thing. Again, the actual killing method itself is at least a little bit more interesting because at least he uses his chainsaw on his hammer, right? Like, if this was Trapper or Wraith, he'd just smack you with his hammer a few times until you died, and like that's hella boring. So it's at least a little better than that. So. Yeah, I think he goes in C tier. I think he's got. I don't know. I can't tell whether I want to put him above Wraith or not. I think I'm actually going to put Wraith above his. There's something I respect a lot about the camera work on Wraith Mori. Although, again, you could say that Billy kind of has it too, and like Billy definitely uses a little bit more of an interesting kill method, but it's close. These two are very close to each other, but I'm going to put Wraith a little bit above Billy, but I think C tier is definitely where he goes. Oh, the flip. Okay, the blink. Well, it's a little bit framey, but that's okay. Yeah, this is... Yeah, I mean, this one's pretty sick. This one is pretty sick, okay? So here, let's go ahead and talk about a few things about it, okay? First off, like the initial flip is kind of cool, right? Like this kind of showcases like, you know, Nurse's entire ability, which is basically, you know, like telekinesis or whatever the fuck. And she like flips you over and you're like, oh shit, oh fuck, what's going on? And she blinks on top of you, right? Which also is like, it kind of like gives some of the killer like personality into the Mori, right? She blinks on top of you and you're like, oh shit, you know, and then she starts choking you, right? And while she's choking you, you're like fighting back, right? Like right here, you're like, let go of me, like fighting back, you know? And you're like trying to fight back. Like that makes it so brutal, right? And again, I think this is what I was talking about when I said that we're gonna learn some things about me. Because I think like the survivors trying to fight back unsuccessfully kind of adds more brutality to it, to me anyway. Like when someone's actively trying to fight back, but you're just like overpower them or like kill them anyway or whatever, I think it makes it a little bit more brutal, at least to me. So you choke them out anyway, their body goes limp, and then she like gets all close to them and closes their eyes, you know? Like, dude, that's intimate, man. Like, that is an intimate Mori. So this one's sick. This one is really sick. I like this one a lot. It's kind of weird because we went from, like, the polar opposites. We went from, like, all the most boring ones to, in my opinion, one of the... Whoops, what did I just do? To, in my opinion, one of the coolest ones in the whole game. So, yeah, when they released Nurse, they stopped fucking around when it came to Moris. I'm going to put her in S tier for now, but this could change. She could be A tier. I'm not really sure. I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm not really sure what my criteria is for S tier yet. Like this is definitely really sick, and this definitely could be an S tier. I need to see some of the other Moris because maybe like some of them will be way better, and I'll be like, wait a minute, maybe this is an S tier. But in my opinion, it's either S or A tier because this is a really, really good one. So I'm gonna drop her in S tier for now, but this could change by the end of the video. We're also doing Huntress next because that's the order that I recorded it, so you're gonna have to deal with it, all right? Like, oh brother, oh man, oh man. Oh, man. God damn, dog. Okay, so, like, this one is pretty sick because, like, she literally, like, hits you so hard in the face with the axe, right? That her axe gets stuck in your face. Like, she just chops your fucking face. And you're even, like, still alive a little bit, but you're just, like, not really. She literally has to pull you up to her leg and kick you off of her axe. And then she, like, kicks your body off, and she's like, yeah, get off my axe, bitch. Also, take these chops, pussy. Like, damn, dude. Like honestly, the follow-up chops aren't really that big of a deal. I'm gonna be real with you. The follow-up chops are just whatever. I think the most brutal and cool part of this is the beginning, right? The her hitting with her axe so hard that it gets stuck in your fucking head, you know? Like, this is insane. Has to, like, knee you off of her. Oh, that's brutal. God, that's brutal. All right. This one's sick. I know she's a little bit out of place, but I'm going to do her next because it was the order that I recorded. This one's sick. This one is definitely on, like, the more brutal end for sure. But I think that's really all it is. It's just, like, really brutal, and that's it. And it's just, like, the first half of it that's really brutal. The second half kind of, like, wavers off a little bit, and it gets kind of boring with just, like, the 2 hits. I mean, I don't really know what more they could have done to make it, like, continue, but, like, I'll say that it's only about half of it that's insane, and then the other half is just kind of, like, eh. But the first half was definitely particularly brutal, and I think it's really sick. So I'm definitely going to put this one in A tier. I think this is like staple A tier Mori right here. Like very brutal for the first half. I feel like it didn't like again when it comes to like Nurse. I feel like it just had so much more like the flip, the blink, like eye close. There was so much like personality to the Nurse's one, whereas like the Huntress's was just like brutal, right? Which is still good, but I don't think it's quite S tier material to me. I think I'm gonna put it in A. Oh, you guys are gonna hate me for this one. Okay, I want to say before I even watch this one that I am not a fan of slasher films at all. Which is you're probably like, why the hell are you even playing DBD or whatever? But yeah, I don't really like slasher films. I'm not really a big movie watcher in general, but definitely not slasher films. If there's any licensed characters in this game that I give a shit about, it's like the video game ones, like stuff like Nemesis and Pyramid Head, right? So I'm going into this just fully with my knowledge of what he does in game, and that's it. So let's watch it. All right. The struggle, the stare into the eyes. Oh man, see this one, like this one's interesting because I'm torn on this one. I'm pretty torn on this one too. Like, okay, the actual killing method itself is kind of boring to me. Like it's just like stabbing, right? Like you pick them up by the throat and you hold them, which I guess that's pretty cool, right? Because you're literally like holding them up. I mean, I know that I'm playing mikaela right now, but you can even be playing like David King and he would still pick you up by the neck, right? And he just like plunges the knife in, and the survivor's like, "Ow, those are my insides, bro!" And they like pound on your shoulder, like, "Knock it off!" See, but this like, okay, again, I'm gonna try to sound not like a psycho myself, but to me, there's a difference between this pounding, right? Like this pounding that she does, that looks more like a, I'm in pain and I'm like pounding to help with my pain. Does that make sense? Like when someone's in pain and they like hit something or they like bite down on their teeth or something to like try to help them with the pain. That's almost what that looks like, as opposed to like the nurses, which look like they were actively trying to get the nurse off of them, right? Like this didn't give me, and maybe I'm wrong here, but this didn't give me vibes of like trying to get free. It just kind of gave me vibes of like dealing with the pain, I guess. And then, yeah, he like shoves the knife in deeper. Your body like scrunches up, and then you go limp. The whole time he's like staring into your eyes with his blank eyes and tosses you to the side and he's like, later, bitch. I don't want nothing to do with you no mo. I'm Michael Myers. I'm out of here. So like this one's cool. I'm pretty torn on this one. Again, there is kind of like a sense of like intimacy, kind of like with the nurse one, right? Like he like stares deep into your eyes while he stabs you deeper, right? Like look at that, like right there. That's a pretty perfect screenshot right there. So like there's definitely, as you can tell, there's definitely some intimacy here for sure. But like, the killing method itself is kind of boring. It's hard for me to really say anything about like personality and stuff because like I don't really know enough about like the franchise or whatever. So it's hard to really say, honestly. I think when it comes to the actual tier list, to me, and I might get hate for this, but I think this is a B tier one to me. It's cool. I like it. Like there's some intimacy to it. You know. But again, like it's just not like it's nowhere near as brutal as like Huntress is. It didn't really like have that much personality to me. Again, maybe I don't just know Myers well enough to know, so maybe I'm being unfair there. But to me and my personal views, it was okay, right? It was definitely miles better than these guys, but it wasn't like I wouldn't say it was better than Huntress's. So I think B tier is where it goes. Oh, I'm pumped for this one. Oh God, already. Oh, God, this one's nuts, dude. Oh, this one's savage, man. Oh, my God. I remember when this Mori came out. I remember when Hag got released and we first saw this Mori. It was so nuts. Because she literally rips a piece out of you, dude. And, like, no other killer really does that, right? Like, there's really not a lot of, like, dismemberment in this game or anything. Like, no one really, like, rips chunks out of survivors until Hag. So... well, I mean, we'll go through the whole thing. She first off dives on you and like eats your fucking neck, right? Like she just starts attacking your neck like a fucking rabid dog, and like literally like rips out a chunk of your neck, right? Like just like rips out a chunk of your neck, and you're like, oh God. And then after she rips out a chunk of your neck, she's like holding you down by your head while you're like struggling, and then fucking reaches into like your abdomen area. And like rips out a fucking who knows what organ that is. I'm not very good at like biology, anatomy. I'm not very good with human anatomy, so I don't know what organ she's even ripping out, but something, I don't know. She rips something out of your body, and she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna eat that shit. Yeah, yum. And she even like even the organ she rips out, she like rips out in half with her teeth too. She doesn't even just like eat it in one bite. She like rips off a chunk of it. And all the while you're like dying below her. And then she walks away eating it too. She like walks away and she's still eating. Like she's just like, bro, yeah, I'm just gonna keep snacking on this. Later. Like that one is sick, dude. That one is nuts. This one is so good. It gives so much of her personality because like I'm pretty sure Hag is like a cannibal or whatever. It has so much like personality to it. It's fucking brutal, dude. Super brutal. So to me, this one is easily S tier. This one is easily S tier. Like this one is among the best in my opinion. Minor spoiler, it's not my favorite. There is one that I know that I like better. I already have a set favorite Mori. You might already know what it is if you've heard me say it on stream, but I'm not going to reveal it until I get there. But it definitely belongs in S tier. Like this is the kind of thing that makes me question if Nurse should be S tier because this one was better than Nurse's for sure. It was like this one is sick. This one is absolutely sick. Okay, this is when we changed maps because we realized that we were kind of having some problems with the grass, and the grass was getting in the way, so we changed maps. But here's Doctors. I mean. This one like kind of makes me laugh in a way almost, which again maybe sounds psychotic, but I don't know. Okay, so I'm torn on this one because again, this one is cool because like the whole personality thing, right? Like Doctor's the guy that electrocutes you, and ha ha ha. So he like rubs his hand together. He rubs his hand together like it's one of those like kind of like it's like a fucking defibrillator, right? Like he's like clear, and then he shocks your face, right? But maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but to me, getting electrocuted is one of like the least like brutal looking ways to die. Like I'm not saying it's one of the like the least brutal ways to die. I mean, getting electrocuted sounds fucking horrible, but like I think electrocution like looks wise, like you don't really like see, right? Like you can see that she's getting shocked, but it's not really like as savage as like the Huntress, for instance, ripping her axe out of your face, right? Like you're like, oh, she's getting shocked, and then she dies. Like the actual killing process itself, again, I don't know. Like maybe this is just a me thing, but I don't really find that to be that like crazy brutal. It's just like, oh, he shocks her, right? This is maybe the only part, right, where he like flips over her face, and then you get a close up of the survivor's face, and she's like, you know, lifeless, and also there's like smoke coming off of her face because she just got shocked, right? Like she's like literally smoking. Like that's pretty cool, right? This scene right here saves the Mori, in my opinion. Because if this wasn't included, if it was just the shocking and that was it, this would be like a D tier Mori. Well, maybe not D tier, but like D or C tier. Like it would be a very low tier Mori. But this part is actually pretty sick. You like roll over the survivor to look at them, and they're like dead, like literally just dead, just empty expression, lifeless. There's like smoke coming off their face because of how much you just electrocuted them, and then you laugh too, right? Yeah, you laugh. And the doctor also laughs about it. He's like, ah, I did good. I done well. Oh, I did such a great job. So yeah, I don't know. This one's tough, man. This one's tough. I think I'm going to put this one in... This one I think goes in B tier for me. It's above Myers to me. Only because of the ending. Again, the ending 100% saved this. If it wasn't for the ending, if it was just the beginning of this, I would probably rate this one much lower. But like... The ending of it saved it a lot. I liked that it had, like, I guess the personality of the doctor with the shocking. Although I think, even though it, like, I'll say, like, the whole, like, shocking thing, I feel like was a plus side and a minus side. Does that make sense? Because, like, it gives it personality for the doctor, but I feel like it also did it in the most boring way possible. Like, I feel like they could have done that in a cooler way, maybe. Because it just seemed like the actual killing blow itself wasn't that exciting to me. It wasn't that, like, I should stop saying things like exciting because it's going to make me sound like a crazy person. It wasn't that, like, brutal or anything, right? Like, it was just kind of like, they're getting shocked and they're dead now, you know? And the rollover was really where I think it was really cool. And that, again, that's really the only thing that I like about it. Outside of that, I'm not really a big fan. So I think B tier is where it goes. It's not quite as good as, like, Huntress, but I do think it's maybe, like, a step above Myers. All right, let's check out this one. The initial hit, dude. I mean, this one's pretty fucking sick. This one is like pretty cool. it's hard to judge it. Like the initial thwack with the hammer, I think is interesting, right? This is actually funny. I don't know if you guys knew this. If you guys are maybe newer to DBD, you might not even know about this, but back in the day, you used to be able to Mori spam people. Basically, when you would go to Mori someone, when you would hold M1, like the bar would fill up, kind of like it does now. But as the bar was filling up, it would start the animation, and then but then you can cancel it. So you can like start to Mori someone and then cancel it, and you can do that over and over again. It was called Mori spamming. But basically, if you did it, it would play the first like, I don't know, second or second and a half of the animation. And Bubba was one that people did it with very often because you would just hit him in the head. You would do this over and over again. It would just do that, and then you'd cancel it, and then you'd do it again. And you just smack him over the head. You just keep smacking him over the head over and over and over again. It was so toxic. God, it was so toxic. Anyway, let me actually rate the Mori now. But anyway, the initial hit is like you're trying to get up, but he's like fucking thwack, you know, like knock you unconscious. And maybe this has something to do with like the movies and stuff. Again, I'm dumb when it comes to like, you know, slashers and stuff. But he thwacks you, he tosses his hammer to the side, and then you're like kind of sitting up, and the motherfucker revs his chainsaw, puts it right inside your fucking goddamn torso, and like pulls it upwards, right? Like literally just chainsaws you in half, you know? Again, it's a shame that this game doesn't really like allow like excess gore, right? Like if this was a game like Friday the 13th or something, we'd probably actually see the survivor cut in half, whereas we don't in this game. So like it all, like to me it almost like takes away from it, because you like see, like you can see them getting sawed in half, but then their body remains whole, right? Like their body is still intact. So you're like, well, what did it even do, right? I mean, it's a video game, I guess, so like what do you expect or whatever, but like overall, the brutality of it's sick. Like I will say it's a very brutal Mori. Like you smack him over the head, and then, you know, you fucking shove a chainsaw on their body and then pull up, right? Like slowly pull up. And also he's got like the victory groan afterwards, right? Like where he's like we did it, you know, like that's also sick too. It adds like more personality to him, you know? This one's pretty sick. This one is definitely pretty sick. How sick though? I don't know. Like, like is this better than, like is this up there with Huntress? Is it there with Doctor and Myers? This one's really hard to say. To me, this one's either high B tier or low A tier. I feel like with every single one, I'm always torn between like two. Like there's some that I'm pretty confident on, but like there's some where I'm torn between two tiers. I think for now I'm gonna drop it into the bottom of A tier, but I might change my mind later. Because this one could be high B tier instead, I'm not sure. It's pretty sick. It's pretty brutal. Adds a lot of personality to it. I think I'll put it bottom A tier for now. It might change. It might change. All right, let's see. Oh, teleporting in and out. This one sucks. I'm gonna be honest with you. This one fucking sucks. Like, again, not a huge fan of Nightmare on Elm Street. Don't know a lot about it, but like, let's just watch it again. Like, he kind of disappears, right? And you like stand up. He like appears again with his claws. He's like, haha, I'm actually here, ha ha ha. And you're like slowly standing up. But then like here, like you don't even like see him, right? Like, I don't know, like maybe this is like how someone died in one of the movies or something. Then maybe I don't know about it, but like you don't even like see him. You just kind of like see the survivor standing up, and then claws come through them. They yell and they just drop dead, right? And then he stands over your body, and then you know, I don't know. That's it, right? Like the killing blow is just one quick hit. Like the buildup is kind of boring. Like this one, like again, this one, especially compared to the ones around it, fucking sucks. Really bad. Now, does it suck? Like, honestly, it sucks. I would say it's worse than these ones. I really would. I think it's going in D tier. I don't think it's quite worse than Trappers, but goddamn, I never really like realized how much it sucked. Like when I was thinking of the worst Moris, I wasn't really thinking of Freddy's. I was thinking of like Trappers and like, well, and I was thinking of some other people that you know that you'll see coming up. But like, I didn't really realize how much Freddy's kind of sucked. Like that's kind of boring as shit compared to all these other ones. Not a big fan at all. Okay, I was talking shit about the Freddy one, but this is like I already know. But let's go ahead and watch it. Man, now this one gets bonus points for like efficiency. If you want a fast Mori, this is the one, right? Like if you want a Mori that doesn't take that much time, that way you can get back into killing more people, this is definitely the one for you because it's very quick. But like, here's the thing about this one. Here's what disappoints me, okay? Because it starts off so sick, right? Like she's crawling on top of you and you're like crawling and you like turn around and you're like, oh God, you about to murder me? You're like screaming and you put your hand up to block them, right? You like put your arm up to try to stop them and she like stabs you through your hand, right? And you're like, oh God, my hand. And she like rips it out. You're like, oh, my hand. Like, look, you're like looking at it and stuff. And like at this point, you're like, yeah, what's about to happen? Yeah, what's going to happen next? This is getting really brutal. And then she's just like, slash. Right? Like, it's so boring, dude. Like, it's such a good buildup just for like nothing. Like, the buildup is good. Like, this is like, it feels like it's leading towards something really savage, right? Like, this feels similar to like the smack that Bubba gives you, right? Where it's like leading into something cool. And Bubba's did lead into something cool. And this could have led into something really cool. But then the actual killing blow, she literally just slashes you like in like the head neck area. And then it's just over. You're just dead. It's like, it's so boring. And like, not only is it boring, it kind of blue balls you. Because like I said, like the lead up looks so good. Like I swear, like I literally distinctly remember this Mori because I remember the first time I ever seen it when this DLC came out. I remember being so excited. This is like the biggest letdown. I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be fucking brutal, isn't it? And then I was like, oh, wait, that's it? Like that's the whole thing? Like that's it? So with that being said, I literally, you know what? I'm making a new tier for this called dog shit tier because I hate this Mori. I hate this Mori that much. Like I have like a personal vendetta with this Mori. Like I personally remember being blue balls with this Mori and being upset about it. So I'm literally going to give it its own tier and nothing else can be put in this tier. This is just for the pigs Mori. I hate it that much. Okay, the head stomps. God. Now, I'm really glad. Okay, I did this with Mathman 200. Graham is the dude I recorded this with, and I'm really glad he used this skin for Clown because I think it adds a lot to this Mori. This one's weird. Okay, so let's rewatch it. Like, the stomps on the head are whatever to me, right? Like, that's whatever. Like, that's like, is that what kills her? I think that's what kills her, right? Yeah, it must be. I mean, chopping off a finger doesn't kill somebody. So, like, he basically just stomps you to death, right? With 3 quick stomps, which is not really that big of a deal, right? And then you're just dead. But then he takes your hand and he's like, ooh, look at them fingies. Ooh, let me. But like, okay, this is the only thing I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the only thing in the entire game where it actually does show like dismemberment, right? I know it's only a finger, but it actually shows a fingerless hand. Like, you literally see her hand with no finger. Like, even with, like, the chainsaw killers where they literally stick the chainsaw in you and, like, cut upwards, you don't, like, see the body cut in half. But you literally see the hand missing a finger. And, like, that's kind of cool. Like, I think that's the only thing in the whole game that does that. So, like, kind of have to give some kudos there. He, like, cuts off the finger. He grabs it. He like, God, look at his fucking face. And then he's like... Oh, God. He literally goes... And then he like always makes a little sound. He was like num 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 afterwards, and it's really God. It's so weird. God, it's so fucking weird, dude. I don't know. It's so weird. Now, as far as how I actually feel about how good it is, I think again, I have to give it points for the actual like finger getting cut off. Like that to me, again, I can't stress enough how much that's like kind of a big deal in this game. But like outside of that, like again, it's just kind of boring. Like I don't really find it that crazy, right? Like it's a little bit weird. Like it shows like his weirdness where he like licks the finger and goes, you know, like that's a bit odd. But I guess it shows some personality. The actual killing method of stomping on the head is fucking boring. Like that's insanely boring. So I don't know, man. I'm very conflicted in a lot of ways. I think I'm just gonna drop it in the bottom of B tier. I think is where it goes. I think it's better than these guys, is for sure. But I don't think it's better than Myers or Doctor. I think that's pretty much a good place for it. Yeah, I'm pretty confident on that. Oh. I like this one, dude. I like this one. This one's cool, man. I like this one a lot. Okay, so let's rewatch it. I just want to get another feel for it again. Like you stand up, or she stands you up. I don't even know. Do you stand up or does she stand you up? I don't even know how you get to the standing position. Like you're like on the ground, and then like all of a sudden you're standing up. How's that even happen? I don't even really understand this. But she like teleports behind you. Nothing personal, kid. And then she just like gets her knife, and it like again, I like the camera work, right? I like that it zooms in on like the knife like manifesting in her hand, or the knife, the sword. Blam! Punches that shit straight through you. Again, the camera work is great here. Like I know it's a little bit on the darker end, but like you can like how it like zooms in, you can see the spirit's face behind you, like screaming as she stabs you through the fucking body. Right? She pushes you down to the ground. Teleports on top of your face. She's like phasing the whole time that's happening, right? Like there's multiple of her. Like she's phasing. Chops you up. Then roars in your face. This one is sick. I actually like this one a lot. This one has a lot of like the personality of the spirit in it, I think. There's a lot of like phasing around. I think it's cool. I think the camera work in it's sick. It doesn't have just like one boring camera that just watches the whole thing. Like it jumps around a lot to different points of view that makes it a lot cooler and more interesting seeming. I like this one a lot. I think the camera work as well as the personality gives this one a lot. So as far as where it's going on the list, I think it's going. Oh, this one's tough. This one's hard. It's undeniably going in A tier, but where I like it more than Bubba. Do I like it more than Huntress? I think I do. I think I might be a sucker for like good camera work. Honestly, I think that might be what I think that might be what I'm discovering. Like. The fact that the camera like zooms into things like as they're happening and kind of like jumps around a lot and really shows you like, again, I just find it boring when the camera's like here, it's in one spot, you can see the kill, it's over, right? The camera jumping around adds a lot to it. I think it gives a lot of personality. I think the kill itself is also pretty brutal. Like the chopping of the body afterwards while phasing and like, I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool. I think top of A tier is where it goes. I like this one a lot. I think it just adds to. I think what this boils down to a lot too is I just like the spirit's aesthetic. Like I think she has a really cool aesthetic, and I think her Mori adds a lot. Like I think it gives a lot of, like it matches her aesthetic well, which is an aesthetic that I already love. So I think I maybe am being a little bit biased in that regard, but either way, I think that's where I'm putting it, top of A. Okay, here we go. Let's watch this one. I'm just gonna watch it silently, and then we'll talk about it. All right, I'm just gonna spoil it. This one's my favorite. I love this one. This one is fucking sick, dude. Okay, again, this one might come again from the thing of me just like enjoying Legion's aesthetic, maybe. But like, okay, like I love that she goes like, I'm gonna say she because this is Susie. I love that she goes to slash you and you like juke it, right? You literally juke their first swing, and that kind of shows that like it's sloppy, right? Like it's very sloppy. Like they missed their first swing, and then you go to like protect yourself and you stab them through the fucking forearm. Like this, like dude, like this is where they should have like this is what they should have done with the Pigs Mori, right? Is this not like the same thing? This is like the same thing as Pigs Mori, right? You like stab them in the forearm and they're like, oh god, and then you like push them away and then you like jump away, right? Like you push the killer away and you jump away, like you're actively trying to like stop it, right? But the killer stabs you in the fucking leg and pulls you closer. Right? Like that's brutal, dude. The fact that you like push them away and you're trying to get away, but they like stab you and pull you closer and then fucking stab you in like the body and like drag it down. Like that is brutal, dude. Like that is brutal. The whole thing is just really savage. Like this to me is like a okay, I think what I find so sick about this is this feels like, oh god, again, this is, people are gonna judge me for this, but this feels like the most like realistic almost, right? It's like super sloppy. It's super sloppy and there's a lot of like resistance and there's a lot of like to me, I think that makes it like the most brutal, right? The fact that it's like the killer themselves is super sloppy, the survivors actively trying to like get away and stop it, but you still just like kill them and pull them in and like continue the job, right? Like it's just fucking savage, dude. It's brutal. It's fucking brutal. Like this one, like it like kind of hurts me to watch. Like it literally, it brings me some pain to even watch it. And I think that is probably what makes a Mori good, right? Like when it comes to something like this, the whole point of it, I think, is to be like savage, right? And to me, this is undeniably the most savage one. Like it literally like brings me pain. So I think this one, in my opinion, I mean, based on everything I've said, I think you already know this one. I think has to go top of S tier. This one's my favorite one so far. I think it's, but going into this, I said it was my favorite Mori. Maybe something will change my mind or something. I'm not sure, but going into it, it was my favorite Mori so far, and I love it. I think it's great. It's like it's just the most savage out of all the ones, I think, in my opinion. Okay. Yep. Asapome. Oh man, this was another one where like the first time I seen it and even rewatching it, I can't help but laugh. Her killing method is literally just puking in your face. Like I know that her puke is like obviously like, you know, some kind of like thing that kills you or whatever, right? But like it's just such a funny way to kill somebody, holding them up and just puking in their face until they die. I'm actually curious to know like what she says. I know that she says ass up home, and it's like a meme on my channel on Twitch at this point because of how many people make me play Plague and Mori people. Okay, let's just see. She smacks you in the head and like flips you over, right? She gives you a good smack and flips you over. She like says some kind of a prayer. I don't know. I'm gonna Google it once I'm done watching to see if I can figure out what this is. After she says whatever she's saying, it seems like a prayer or something maybe. She like wraps her weapons like chain around your neck and then like picks you up by the neck and holds you in front of her face. Again, this is like, again, we talked about intimacy earlier. I feel like this is looking pretty intimate. You know what I mean? Like, look at this. Just, you know, having a date, me and the Plague just having a date. And she fucking yaks all over your head, you know? Yaks all over your face. The killing, dude, I just can't. I like the bitch smack. Okay, I will say I also love the bitch slap at the end. Like the killing method is kind of weird to me. Like, God, you can like see some going in her mouth. God, that's disgusting. The killing method itself is kind of like weird to me, I guess. Like it's, I don't know. Like it's very odd. You just puke in their face until they die, right? But afterwards, I love how she just kind of bitch slaps you, right? She's like, later. Just gives you like a little slap, like, psh, later. I don't want nothing to do with you no more. Okay, let me see if I can figure out what she was saying. Okay, I found a couple different things about it, but I guess I'm just going to take the message from the wiki. The wiki says, which roughly translates to send them in your mouth, God, which is strange. Send them in your mouth, God. I found a couple different things when I searched it, and everybody seems to come to the same conclusion that the word God is in there somewhere. Apparently, the word God is undeniably in the Mori somewhere, but as far as what she says after that, I don't know. So I guess we don't really know exactly what she says, but I'll judge it based off everything else anyway. So again, like I like this, but I don't like it, right? To me, I like the prayer thing, I guess, to me. This adds a lot of personality to it. Again, Plague is like reminds me of like this like ancient fucking like evil plague. Like to me, like Plague is like an ancient evil like disease that is like manifested into a human being. That is like, I know that's not like her literal backstory, but that's kind of what she gives me a vibe of, right? And like she says like this prayer or whatever, which is sick, right? There ain't nothing creepier than someone like praying before they murder you, right? Like that's some like creepy cult shit. You know what I mean? But again, like the whole bringing you up by the neck thing is cool. It's just the kill method, dude. Like I know that that's what she does is she pukes on people, but like, again, I don't know, man. Maybe this is again being restricted by the fact that the devs can't really like fuck with like the survivor models that much, right? Like for instance, what if hypothetically she puked on your face and then your face was like melted away afterwards or something, right? Like that would be sick. But the fact that she just pukes on your face, but then your face still looks normal and she just kind of bats you away, like you still look normal, you just kind of got puked on, right? That's all it was. You just got puked on. So like, I don't know. Like, I think all it would take to take this Mori to like a completely S tier Mori is if they could like, if they were allowed to like make the survivor have like a melted or like burnt up face or something afterwards, you know? Like if it was like the equivalent of like throwing acid on their face, right? Then I think this would easily be like S tier. But I think given what it is, I still like it. I still think it's cool. I like the chanting. I like the, you know, really the only thing holding me back from giving it a really high tier is just the fact that I think puking on someone as a way of killing them is just really stupid. But I know that's what she does. So like, I don't know. I'm going to put her in bottom of A tier. I think it's undeniably better than these guys in my opinion. But I don't know, man. Again, if I just thought that puking on someone to kill them was a cool way of killing someone, or maybe if I just like, maybe I should just like respect her, you know, personality more or something. I don't know. But to me, I just can't help but like laugh whenever I see it, right? Like it's so sick until it gets to the point where she's puking, and then every time she starts puking, I just laugh. I'm just like, bro, you're literally just puking on him. Like you're just yakking right in their face. I don't know. A tier it is. Ooh, this one's an exciting one. Let's do it. Gives you a few stabs, one real good stab, shoves it in deep. I mean, dude, come on. Come on, man. Like, come on. You know? This one's an instant classic. Do I even have to like do I have to give my thoughts on it? Like this one, like the actual killing method itself is not that exciting, right? He like gives you the old back mount. He gives you 1 stab, 2 stab, 3 stab, and then on the 3rd stab he shoves the knife in really deep. Like the actual killing method itself is like, it's kind of boring, but really what else are you gonna do with a knife, right? Well, I say that, but then again, Legion kills you with a knife and they're way cooler. So, you know, I guess maybe that's not a very good excuse. But either way, the killing method itself is not that good, but it literally doesn't matter because this motherfucker literally grabs you by the hair and pulls out a fucking like a what do you even call these? Like an analog camera? Is that what they're called? It's like a fucking old school, like a Polaroid or whatever the fuck you call them. I don't know cameras. But he pulls out a goddamn camera. He takes a fucking takes a selfie, dude. He takes a fucking selfie with you as you're dying. Like this is like undeniably one of the best Moris this game has ever added, right? Like undeniably. So like in my opinion, it's clearly to me it's S tier. It's clearly S tier. Now where in S tier, I don't know. I think I'm gonna put it right behind Legion. Like again, if it wasn't for the fact that if it wasn't for the fact that Legions like somehow just bothered me a little bit, right? I think that's why Legions is like up there because it like actually bothers me a little bit. There's something about it, like seeing the struggle and everything and the sloppiness, like it like chills me a little bit, which is not something I really feel very often when it comes to things like this. And so because of that, I feel like I have a special place for this where it needs to be at the top. But dude, Ghostface is like come on, man. He takes a fucking selfie with you as you're dying. Like that's ridiculous. It's so fucking funny and goofy and like it's just a classic, dude. I love this Mori so much. So it's kind of funny. I'm not actually throwing this one up here for brutality. I'm just throwing it up here because I fucking love it. It is such a good Mori, such a good addition to the game. Again, I don't know much about the movies and like how it fits personalities and stuff, but I think it's fucking phenomenal and I love it. Every time I see a Ghostface Mori in game, I can't help but like at least smile when he actually takes the picture. You know, like there's at least like a chuckle. Like this man's like literally murdering people and he stops to take a freaking selfie. You know, like ugh. All right. Anyway, let's keep going. All right. This one I'm torn on. I don't know about this one, man. I don't know. And this one people might get mad at me for because I think a lot of people like Demos Mori. But like, okay, you're like on the ground, he like jumps on you, he like digs his claw into like your side and rips it out, and that looks like it hurts a lot. And then he hits you with the old open mouth coming down on your face. Num 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 num. You know what I mean? He hits you with the old num 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 num. And he like, okay, I will say it's kind of sick that he like whips you around like a dog, right? Like you ever have like a dog that has a chew toy and you're trying to get the chew toy out of their mouth, so they like whip their head around. You know what I mean? He gives you like the old puppy dog like rip your head off thing, where he like whips you around, and then he gives you another claw or two while he yells. I mean, it's pretty. I will say it's pretty sick. Like it's pretty brutal, right? There's something to me about like. Again, I feel weird making this video because like the things I'm saying, they sound so fucked up. But like I feel like based on what happened to the survivor, it feels like their head should be off. Like it feels like they should be decapitated to me. Like he literally like chomps on their head and like whips their body around with their head like. And also I will say there is something kind of like savage about like the fact that like if you watch the survivor's arms. Like, there's, like, struggle for a bit, right? Like, it starts out and there's struggle, and as the Mori goes on, they, like, go limp, you know? Like, right there, they, like, kind of go limp, you know? And there's something kind of brutal about that, too. Like, that's pretty fucking brutal. The more I'm watching it, the more I'm maybe liking it more. But again, like, there's something also to me that's, like, kind of... There's something also kind of boring about the fact that he's literally encasing your entire head in his mouth. Like, okay, this is one of those things, again, where I feel like this is one of those Moris where if they were able to, like, you know, mess with, like, the after... God, I can't say what I'm trying to say without literally sounding like a fucking psychopath. But I'm gonna say what I'm just gonna say it. If they were able to like actually mutilate, God, I'm literally saying the word mutilate right now. Okay, FBI, if you guys are listening to this, I swear I'm just a dude in a basement that's just like playing a video game. I'm just a dude playing video games about killing people. I'm not, okay, Jesus. I literally feel weird even talking about this kind of shit. But if you can mutilate the bodies a little bit more afterwards, then like, yeah, this would be kind of sick, right? Right? Like, because I feel like it just feel to me it's kind of boring. Like he does all this shit, and then it's just like the survivor's still just laying there, right? Like the survivor looks fine, really. Like obviously they died. Like obviously it killed them, but like there's something to me like it almost like takes away from it. Does that make sense? It almost like takes away from it to like see something like that, and then the body just like look normal, and you're just like, oh okay, right? I mean I don't know. Am I being like too picky about that? It can almost takes away from like the brutalness of it to me. Where like it feels like the brutalness is what they're actually doing to you, but then like you don't actually really see the result of it, right? Like you, as about like okay, like not only do you not see the result of it, but you see the opposite result. You see the result that looks like they did nothing at all. So it's like, you know, like I do think the scream is cool. Man, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. I think it's kind of sick, but as far as where it actually goes in a tier list, is it cooler than Doctors? Yes. Yes, it's definitely cooler than these guys. Is it cooler than these guys's? No. So it's either top of B or bottom of A. I think for now, I'm going to put this in top of B, is where I'm going to put it. It's undeniably better than these guys's, but I don't think it's like I think it's closer to the coolness of Doctors than it is of the coolness of Plagues, right? Like I think Plagues is much better than Doctors, and I think this is closer to Doctors is where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to put it top of B, I think. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. All right. Oh man, I think I forgot how crazy this one was until I rewatched it. I know people always mention Onis as like one of the best, and I'm always like, yeah, it's pretty brutal, but it's not that crazy. Damn, upon rewatching it and really like getting a good look at it though, like holy fuck, man. Like you start to sit up and he literally just like fucking stabs his sword through your whole body, and you're like stuck there like mounted on his sword basically. He like reaches into your fucking mouth, like he puts one hand on the top of your head, reaches into your mouth, literally rips out your tongue. So like I guess me talking about Hag being the only one that rips out like an organ or whatever, or like, you know, like him and, or like, you know, I said something about Clown in that sense too. I kind of forgot that he rips out your tongue. So you rip out their tongue. She's like screaming because her tongue is ripped out and she's stabbed. And then he takes his wait, does he crush her tongue? Wait, what's he actually do with the tongue? Yeah, he like crushes the tongue. Wait, you can like see the tongue too, can't you? Yeah, you can like see the tongue. I didn't even really realize that. Wow, he really got in deep, dude. He got the tongue like way deep in there. I thought he cut it off like right there, but that man went deep apparently. Holy shit. He like crushes the tongue and he takes his fucking big old club thing and like, God, that's brutal. Holy fuck, that's brutal. God, dude. Oh my God. This one's so much like crazier than I remember it being. Like the ripping out the tongue. Like everything about it, dude. Like sticking a sword through someone's already like, ouch, you know? Ripping out a fucking tongue. Something that I feel like I need to add to this is there's something to me that's kind of like, I don't know what the adjective I'm thinking of, but there's something to me about the fact that the survivor, like after he rips their tongue out and they scream the whole way until he busts out his club. Like, listen, they'll scream the entire time until he starts hitting them, and then it like shuts them up instantly. Like, there's something to me that's like that also adds an element to it, right? Like they're like screaming in pain, and he's like, "Shut the fuck up!" And he like hits them with their club, and then they instantly just go silent. You know what I mean? And then they're just dead. He like pounds on them until they're like, dude, God, that one's brutal. God, that one's sick. Oh my God. This tier list is kind of fucking me up because I feel like I'm trying to judge it based on like how brutal they are. And it's like triggering like weird like empathy sensors in me that are like fucking me up. Okay, this one's going to S tier for sure. It's gonna be either here or here is where it goes. Again, I feel like Ghostface has to be up there because it's just so unique. Like Ghostface is just so unique. It's so silly in a way that no killers has ever been silly like that. It has to be up there. But I think it's actually more brutal than Hags. I'm tempted to put Oni at the top of the whole thing after seeing it again. But again, to me, I still think the sloppiness of Legions, maybe, like, I don't know, maybe at the end I'll have to do a side-by-side or something, but I think the sloppiness of Legions is still, like, because, okay, like, Legions is, like, it's sloppy and the survivors are actively trying to escape, whereas I feel like Oni's is, like, more, like, dominating, right? Like, it feels like they have zero chance to escape or anything. It's just, like, he's, like, completely in control. Like, he's just, like, this big brute, and, like, they have no chance, and he just, like, savagely murders them, right? Whereas I feel like with Legion, it's more, like, you're not even getting killed by, like, a monster. It's just, like, some kid, you know? It's, like, some fucking sloppy kid. And for some reason, that makes it more, like, I don't know, again, more, like, realistic or something to me. I don't know. Just something about Legions that's weird and fucks with me. Whereas Oni's, I don't know. It's still sick. I'm going to put it there for now, but maybe I'll rethink it by the end of the video because that was actually a lot better than I remember it being. That one was fucking sick. Okay, I remember this one being kind of cool, too. Man, oh man, oh man. This one also has pretty good camera work, I'll say. This one's kind of similar to Spirit, I think, where it has like pretty cool camera work, right? It starts off, you like stab him in the back, right? You stab him in the back, you literally prop them up with your gun after stabbing in the back. And then like this, again, like this camera work is sick, right? It puts the camera from up looking down with like Slinger in the background. Like this looks like a still shot from like a Rob Zombie movie or something. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, he kind of looks like Rob Zombie. I think. What's Rob Zombie even look like? I think he looks like that. Hold on, let me see. Holy shit, I'm pretty close, dude. I literally opened up a tab and Googled Rob Zombie and I got this picture. What the fuck? I was actually pretty goddamn accurate. Anyway, sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. It kind of looks like a still shot from like a Rob Zombie movie or something. And, you know, you can see the survivor up close and then it's like, bang! And you can just, the gun goes through their mouth. Obviously, they're very dead. This looks like, oh, what do they call that weeb shit where they like stick out their tongue and make their eyes go different directions? It's like when dumb weeb girls try to look hot or something. I can't remember what it's called. A Hagio or some shit. I don't know, dude. I can't remember. But it kind of it's like that, but like the Rob Zombie version. What the fuck am I even saying at this point? I don't know. He shoots him. Oh my god! I didn't even realize this scene. Like this little still shot right here is also pretty brutal, right? Like the harpoon is still like through the entire head. And they're like, you know, they're obviously down. He just like kicks you away. He's like, later, bitch. I'm gonna take that harpoon back. That one's pretty sick. Like that one is pretty sick. Again, it's not quite as sick as some of the others, but it's pretty cool, right? I mean, I think the camera work is really fucking. Does he wink at some point? Did I see that as I was wait, does he wink? Hold on, does he wink? No, he just blinks. Whoa, that's a weird time. That's a weird time to pause. It looked like he winked whenever I was going through it. Anyway, I don't know. As far as like where to actually compare this though, it's hard to say. Like, do I think? Here's where I'm torn. Is this better than Spirits? They both have really cool camera work. They both it's kind of to me. I think this is like the same thing as Spirit, but maybe a little bit worse. I think Spirits is a little bit cooler because I think her aesthetic is a little bit cooler. I think the phasing around is a little bit cooler. It's kind of cool. It has good camera work. It's pretty brutal. I'm going to put it in between Spirit and Huntress, I think. I think that's where it's going to go. And honestly, the more that I'm looking at this, the more I'm wondering if I'm going to keep Nurse and S tier. I'm not 100% about it, but I'm going to wait till the end of the video before I make any adjustments. But the more I'm looking at it, the more that this list is coming together, the more I'm thinking there's probably going to be some changes. Okay, again, we're only going to do the main Mori for Pyramid Head because he has like a kind of like a mini Mori is what people call it, where he basically can kill people that are like, you know, tormented or what the hell is it called? I think it's called tormented. And it's really simple, though. I think it's just meant to be fast. He literally just chops you with a sword and you die. It's not really worth even writing. I'm not even going to bother. It's just, I think it's meant to be like a very quick kill. So it's not really meant to be like flashy or cinematic. So I'm not really going to worry about it. We're going to rate just his normal Mori. So let's see it. Ugh. Oh, man. Okay. So this one I'm torn on because, again, I won't lie. There's a bit of bias here. I mean, I'll be real with you. Like, this is a personal opinion tier list. This isn't like a balanced tier list where I'm trying to be unbiased. I'm going to completely let myself be biased here for the most part, right? Like, this whole tier list is basically based on opinions. So I love Pyramid Head. I love Silent Hill. I love Pyramid Head, right? I love the entire franchise. I love his character. So like that goes into this a lot, right? He like picks you up and then you get like these like otherworld like things like lock you into place. Your like legs are like tied together all like weird, and you're like tied into like the fucking, I don't even know what the hell they call it, like the other world of Silent Hill. And he like stabs you with the gigantic like Buster Sword-esque fucking sword, twists it, and then pulls it out, and then you drop dead, right? Like it's sick, but at the same time, it's kind of not sick. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I'm wondering how much I think it's sick just because it's Silent Hill, right? Like, I feel like if this was similar to like Myers, where I didn't really know anything about Silent Hill, I probably would hate this, to be honest with you. Because I think like really, at the end of the day, it's kind of boring. Like, it's cool. Like, it's neat that like these things lock you up or whatever. And like, again, I think this is cool because I know about Silent Hill and I know about how there's like the other world of Silent Hill or whatever. So like, that's what kind of makes this cooler to me. Whereas I feel like if I didn't know anything about Silent Hill, I might just be like, okay, he just like summons some weird things somehow. Like he just has the power to do that apparently. But like, yeah, I don't know. Like again, my Silent Hill bias is showing a little bit, but even with my Silent Hill bias, it's still kind of boring, right? Like it's cool, I guess, but he kind of just like locks you in place, stabs you with a sword, twists it, pulls it out, and that's it. There's nothing really like extraordinarily, like there's nothing really extraordinary going on there. That being said, I have an eye right now of where I think I want to put it. Somewhere like right here. Before or after demo? It's going above it. I think it's going above demo, but I think again, that's Silent Hill bias. I think if it wasn't for my Silent Hill bias, it probably would be lower, but I think that's where it goes. It's nothing crazy, but it's still pretty fucking cool, I would say. All right. Okay, injects her face and her stomach. Man, this one sucks. I'm gonna be real with you. This one sucks. I don't know, man. Like, this one feels like maybe it's, like, meant to be, like, something cool lore-wise or something. I don't know. But it's kind of just boring. He, like, holds you down and he, like, injects you in, like, the chest area. And then also, like, a little bit in the side of the face. And then you, like, start to grow, like, blightness out of your body. Right? And then he just, like, stabs you. Like, it pops, like, as he stabs you. Like you like balloon up, and then it pops right as he comes down and strikes you, and then you just die, right? He like sticks his, what is it, like his cane thing in like your head, like he shoves it in your head, and also like your blightness pops. Like again, maybe this one, like I don't know, maybe I'm not giving this one enough credit because maybe like literally injecting you with something that then like grows rapidly and then pops in like your chest, like maybe that, like I feel like this is kind of like the like electrocution thing of Doctor, where like. It's not like gory, right? It's not like extraordinarily gory, but it's still like, if you think about like how it would feel or something, right? Obviously it's like extremely painful, but like, I guess just from like a viewer point of view, it's not like that exciting, I guess. I don't know. Like this one doesn't really do much for me. On top of the fact that like his killing blow is just like a little smack, right? Like the only time he ever even really hits you outside of injecting you is just like one smack, and that's it. So honestly, not a fan of this one at all. I'm really not. I think this one is definitely more on the boring side. So boring, in fact, that I think I'm gonna put it in C tier. I think I'm gonna put it. I think it's better than Wraith and Billy a little bit, like barely. I think it's a little bit better than Wraith and Billy, but not by much, man. Honestly, not by much. I think it's undeniably worse than all these ones. And you can even make an argument for Wraith being better, but I think I'm gonna put it above Wraith at least. So that's where it's gonna go. Okay, see, this one's weird because I know that I said I was ignoring the mini Moris for both Pyramid Head and Onryo, but this killer has two different Moris. Twins has one Mori that happens if you have Victor when you do it, and then another one where if you don't have Victor. So we're gonna watch both. Here's the one with Victor. Chops you in the leg, chops you down. He's like, go ahead. And Victor just kind of like rips at you and like takes a chunk out of your neck, and then that's it. I'm gonna be real, that one, not a fan of. Not a huge fan of that one at all. That one's kind of meh, but I'll look at the other one too before we really make any rash judgments. So let's go ahead and do the other one. This one's without Victor. Man. That one's pretty sick too, right? I think I like this one better than the one with Victor, is what I'll say. The one with Victor is like, Again, I guess it's kind of cool because it like has personality or whatever, right? She's like, yeah, go on, Victor. You can kill too, right? He's like, mommy, can I kill too? I know that they're like brother and sister, but he's like, mommy, can I get on some of this? Can I please kill? You know, like it's like the vibe that you get. And she's like, yeah, go ahead. You can get some. You can get some too. Whereas this one, she's alone, so she just kind of like savagely murders you, right? And this one feels a lot more brutal to me, you know? Because like they start out the same, right? They start out the same. She like chops at your leg and then hits you down. Like that's the same in both, right? Now here with Victor, she would look down at Victor and he would look up and she'd be like, yeah. And he would jump down, like basically slice at your back a little bit with his hands, take a bite out of your neck, and then that's it. It's kind of boring. This one, she like stomps on you, shoves your sickle into your side, yanks it out. And then also like that, like this hit right there, like that one's brutal. Like she goes to pull it out and like brings your body up with it, right? Like even just that little bit of detail of like bringing your body up is fucking brutal, dude. Like it like literally gets stuck and she has to like pull it out. Like I don't know, like maybe I think I just might be a sucker for that because I kind of said the same thing about the Huntress Mori, but like that's pretty fucking brutal, dude. So I think I'm gonna judge it based off this one because this one's my favorite of the two. And I'll say this one's pretty brutal, right? It's kind of cool, but there's also, while it's cool, there's also not really a lot that, like, happens in it, right? If that makes sense. Like, it's just kind of a bit brutal. I wouldn't even say it's, like, as brutal as, like, Huntress's, right? Like with Huntress's Mori, when her axe gets stuck in your head, that shit is, like, there's visual effort that has to go into, like, getting it unstuck. Like, she has to, like, use her knee to get you unstuck and shit. Whereas with this one, like... Like it get like I don't know. It doesn't. It's not quite on the same level of brutality that Huntress is to me, but I still think it's really sick. I'm gonna put it below demo. I think is where I'm gonna put it. It's cooler than Doctors. It's cooler than Myers. It's cooler than Clowns. It's like more brutal than those guys, but it's not quite better than these guys in my opinion. Like it's just kind of like a sick, like brutal kill with a sickle, right? Which is still cool, right? It's I don't know. It's like right around middle of the pack, I'd say. Oh, this is another one that I want to see if I can get a translation of. Hold on. You know what? Let me see if I can do it before we watch it. So according to the wiki or a wiki that I'm seeing, it's like some website. It says that before killing a survivor in the Mori, he says something that roughly translates to "Are you going?" or maybe "Are you ready?" And then after killing, he says "Thank you." He apparently thanks them. So that's interesting. So keep that in mind when we watch it, okay? Interesting. This one's kind of cool. I like this one. I kind of dig this one. So like here, let's just watch the whole thing again. So you start to stand up. He throws a knife up in the air. Wait, is that the knife that kills you at the end? I guess I just realized. I think it is, right? I was just thinking, where does that knife come from? And I guess I see it now. He throws a knife directly up into the sky and goes like, "Are you ready?" And then he busts out some knives. He's all like showmanly, right? Like his whole thing is like he's like a fucking entertainer or some shit. He's like a showman. So he's got a lot of showmanship, right? And then he fucking throws a bunch of goddamn daggers into you, and the final one hits you right in the face. It's like a little fadeaway. Look at him. He's like on one foot. He's like barely balancing, you know? Like he's got style, right? He's got swag. Honestly, he's got swag. I'm surprised he didn't dab after he did that, to be real with you. And then he like throws a photo of himself at you and goes, "Thank you." And as he does it, the knife that he threw up in the beginning comes down and gets you right in the chest. So like, bro, that's some good showmanship right there. And look at that pose, dude. He looks like a fucking anime character. I mean, I guess that's kind of what he's spent. Like, I think that's what he's meant to be, right? This one's pretty cool, man. I'm gonna be real. This one's pretty cool. I like this one. Whoa, did her face just change? Wait, I think her face changes drastically when it actually finishes the Mori. Are you seeing? Her mouth like opens and her eyes change. Oh, that's silly. All right. Anyway, this one is cool. I like this one. I think it fits his character a lot. I think it's really neat. I like the throwing the knife up. I like the actual like speaking of words. There's something that's kind of cool to me about killers that actually do speak words sometimes, especially during important things like Mori's. And I think it adds a lot to like his showmanship stuff and everything. I think it's actually pretty sick. I like this Mori a lot more than I thought I was going to be honest with you. But how much? I think I like it around this much. You know what? I'm gonna say this much. I like it a little bit more than Slingers even. I don't think I like it quite as much as Spirits. But I think like right under Spirit. I think it's really good. I'm gonna say A tier. It's not quite good enough to be S tier to me. Like it's cool and everything, but like I don't know. He's just kind of throwing knives at you, right? Like I think most of the coolness of it comes from like the whole showmanship of it all, right? The fact that like to him it's like a big performance, right? It's literally what it is. Like it's like here I am performing the kill on Mikaela, and then he like does the whole thing. And he's like, thank you, like takes a bow almost, basically, right? Like I think that's super sick. Like that's kind of the enjoyment I get out of the whole thing, or whatever. Like that's kind of what I like about it, as opposed to the rest, where the actual kill itself is just kind of like, whatever. He just like throws knives at you. So, yeah, I think high A tier fits pretty well for me. All right, what do we got? Tentacle through the body, picks you up to his hand, throws you down, and stomps you. This one, I'm not a big fan of this one. I'm not a big fan of this one at all, to be honest with you, which is a shame because Nemesis might be like, if we're talking about like characters in the game, like we're actually talking about like killers, like not, if we just completely disregard Dead by Daylight and how like what their powers are and how they play in the game. If we're just talking about like the actual killers in the game themselves and like who they are outside of the game, Nemesis is probably like my favorite. I love Resident Evil. I played the shit out of it growing up. Resident Evil 3 is actually my favorite Resident Evil game as well. So like I remember when they announced Nemesis, I was over the moon, dude. I was stoked. So like I feel like I'm pretty heavily invested in this one because of that. And I don't know, man. Like it's okay. It's solid. But like how did Nemesis kill Brad in Resident Evil 3? And like the original Resident Evil 3. I'm pretty sure he like picked him up and then like shoved the tentacle in him or something, which sounds very like hentai-y, but I think it was something like that. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay, here I'm gonna go like this random YouTube video and we're gonna use it because like here's how Nemesis kills Brad in Resident Evil 3. Now this is Resident Evil. Now this is like PS2 graphics, so bear with me. But like runs against the wall, begs for help, picks him up. Tentacle through the face, you know, chucks him on the ground, dead, and then says stars, right? Like that's how he killed Brad, and like that's pretty sick. But actually, like, is that even sicker than like what he does? Because like I guess what he does is like actually kind of maybe the same, if not cooler. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I don't know. Because he puts the tentacle through the body, slams you down. Tentacles somewhere, pulls you up, and then just kind of stomps you, you know? Nah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just kind of boring. Honestly, it's just kind of boring. I can't really justify it in any way. It's just kind of boring. Like the killing blow and everything is just not, again, it's just, there's not really like, there's not really much that happens. I feel like they could have done something cooler. I don't know. I don't really know what. Maybe I don't know what the suggestion is to actually make it cooler, but like, I feel like it could have been cooler and it wasn't. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's just kind of whatever. I'm going to put it above Blight, at least. I'm at least going to put it above Blight, but it's going in C tier. I don't think it's even good enough to be D tier or B tier. I think it's C tier worthy. It's just, it's pretty bad. I'm not a big fan at all. Here's another one where I don't really know much about the movie, so bear with me, okay? All right, he like summons chains. He chains you up.
I have such sights to show you.
And that's it. That's the whole thing. So, all right. I vaguely know about Hellraiser, right? It's like these guys are like Cenobites, and they're like travelers from other dimensions. Some call us demons, angels to some or something. I don't know. I saw like a scene from the movie. I can't fucking remember. But basically, like you solve the box, it summons them, and then they basically take you away and they torture you forever or something. To them, pain is pleasure. They're basically like the ultimate like I don't know, kinky motherfuckers apparently. So basically what he does is he picks you up, he like summons these like chains to basically chain you up and like restrain you from like everywhere. Your face is like being peeled like apart, which honestly I will say is actually kind of cool because it actually like stretches out the model, right? Like every survivor's face model actually gets like changed, which again is really surprising because they usually don't change up models very often. Like the actual survivor model themselves usually doesn't end up getting changed at all through Mori's, you know, outside of like minor things here and there. So the fact that it actually stretches out the survivor's face, I think is actually really cool, and it's kind of like an extra benefit.
I have
but then
such sights to show you.
He basically tells you that he has some sights to show you. He's going to take you somewhere fun where you guys are going to have a good time, which I wouldn't trust him, but that's what he's saying. And then some, like, I don't know, death pull thing comes up that you then get attached to. And then it sends you down to, I don't know, to hell, I guess. Or maybe to, like, to Brazil? I don't know. To Brazil! To Brazil! Maybe he just wants to show you Rio. I don't know. But, yeah. And then you're just gone. And you're gone just like that. I mean... This one, like, I feel like the most brutal thing about this Mori is, like, I guess what makes this Mori brutal is just knowing, like, what's coming, right? Because, again, like, if you know anything about, like, the movies or whatever, apparently, again, I don't even know much about the movies, so don't even listen to me. Like, maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about. But as far as I'm aware, these guys come from, like, some other, like, dimension or something where, like, they love pain. And they, like, take people there to, like, torture them and have them be in pain forever. Because to them, pain is pleasure or something. So, like, Mikaela here is being shipped off to Pain World, where it's nothing but pain all the time. And, you know, yeah, you're just basically tortured. It's literally hell. It's essentially just hell, right? I think that's what most people view hell as. So this person's apparently going to eternal... this is, technically, really, if we're really getting down to the nitty-gritty here, this is actually the worst Mori of all, because at least the other Moris just kill you, and you're just dead, right? And you're at peace, because you're dead. This one literally sends you to eternal torment, right? This one sends you to hell. This is, like, technically the end result is, like, worse than every other one, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, you don't even die. You just get sent away. Like, that's fucked. But, again, outside of that, right, like, the actual, like, what you see, right? Like, I don't know if I want to judge it based off that, because that's not really what you're seeing. Like, I kind of want to judge it based off of what you actually see. And all you really see is you getting chained up, you being kind of like pulled apart by chains and being like, ow, I'm being pulled apart and there's also chains all over me and they're digging into my skin and oh God. And then pull comes up and it takes you away while you're screaming. You're like, oh God, I'm still in pain. Ah, this hurts a lot. I'm leaving. Goodbye. And it's just like, I don't know. It's not really much to me. It's not really much. Again, if we factor in the fact that, like, the actual end punishment that you end up, like, the actual end result of what happens to you is probably the worst out of everything, then I kind of want to put it higher up. But if I don't factor that in, then I kind of want to put it pretty low. So I really don't know where to judge this one at all, honestly. Like, I'm really not sure what to think of this one. I think I'm just going to plop it in and, like... I feel like, to be fair, I think I'm just going to plop it in, like, high B tier, I guess. I don't really know what to say about it. It's hard, right? Like, I feel like this could go either way. If you wanted to be like, bro, this literally sends you to eternal torment. Like, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to you. I'd be like, you know what? You're kind of right. Let's put this in S tier. But then you could also be like, yeah, but the only part that you see about it is you just see someone that gets some chains stuck in them and they, like, scream for a bit. And that's really all you see. Like, nothing really that crazy happens to them on your screen. Like, you don't really see any of the crazy things that happen to them. And I'd be like, yeah, you're right. Let's put it in D tier. So, like, I don't know. It's so hard. It can go, I could literally put this anywhere and I feel like I couldn't hypothetically justify it. So based on that, I'm just going to put it right in the middle. But I'm going to put it a little bit more towards the higher end of the middle. So high B tier is I think where it goes. Man. God damn. Man. Okay. This one's interesting. So this one's interesting. She, like, jumps on you right here. Let's just do the whole thing again with, like, with some. So you're crawling away. She, like, jumps on you, dude. The smack that she does, like, this is like a fucking Batman, like, comic book level, like, thwack. Like, listen, like, god damn, dude. It's like whoosh. And again, like, the camera movement here is great, right? Like, the camera's focused on her and it whips down to the survivor as it hits you, right? Great camera work, I gotta say. She jumps back. And then you're, like, convulsing, and then you, like, give birth to, like, a crow or something. You, like, give birth to a burb. And she's like, oh, shit, hell yeah. And then there's a bunch of birds everywhere. And also, like, I just want to say, this bird right here, the bottom one that's, like, pecking at your face, kind of cute, right? Look at him. He's like, oh, look at him. He's just having himself, he's, like, snacking. I can't help but kind of find this one right here to be a little bit cute. And I don't know, like, what that says about me, but I think that bird's kind of cute. But then, like, while you're dying, there's, like, birds flocking around, right? There's, like, a whole flock of crows. And they're, like, pecking at your face. And they're all kind of, like, pecking at your body, too. Like, they're kind of, like, eating you, right? Like, they're basically just eating you. And then you're dead. So I don't know about this one. Like it's like I think the smack on your face is fucking brutal, dude. Like it's like fast and loud, you know? Like it is both fast and loud. Like I can feel it. Like you can fucking feel that one, dude. It's brutal. And like the giving birth to a crow thing is pretty sick. It's pretty cool. I gotta say, this one's pretty cool. Again, it doesn't have a lot of like crazy brutality, but I think it's still like really sick. I think it fits her theme really well, which I already like a lot. The birds are cute at the end, right? I love the birds at the end that are just like chilling and playing with their body, even though they're like kind of like murdering you or whatever. They're still kind of adorable at the same time. Yeah, this one I'm gonna put. I think this one to me goes between Trickster and Slinger to me. I think that's where it goes. It's really cool. It's really neat. I like the camera work. It's not quite as good as... I think Trickster's showmanship is a little bit cooler. Spirit's better than them even. Yeah, I think I'm pretty confident with putting it like higher up in the A tier. I think is where it goes. I'm pretty confident in that one. I like it a lot. I think it's pretty cool, but nah, it could still be a little bit cooler, right? Like it's not quite as good as these ones. Not quite as like brutal and savage as these ones, but it's still pretty fucking sick. Yeah, I think that's a good placement. Okay, and again, same thing with Unreal. We're not gonna do her mini Mori because her mini Mori is literally just zooming in on her eye and that's it. Honestly, her mini Mori is basically a part of her main Mori. Essentially, it just shortens her main Mori basically. So here, let's go ahead and watch it. Oh man. All right. Again, don't know much about the movies. But I'll do what I can here, okay? So I'm gonna probably be pausing it when the bones snap. So if you guys don't want to see the bones, maybe just skip this whole section, okay? But here, let's see what happens, okay? So she basically looks at you and she like picks you up with like telekinesis or something, right? Because apparently she has telekinesis, I guess. And you look like you're like struggling to breathe. Oh, there's like a... I didn't even see like this like... I'm gonna be real. I actually didn't even notice this the first time. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. Wait. I didn't even realize that there's like a green like aura around your neck, but then also it goes around your arm. It like tears your arm away. It like tears your arm to the side, and you're like, wait, what's happening to my arm? And then it like fucking snaps your arm, and I'm pretty sure like you can like see the fucking bone popping out. Same thing with your leg, and I'm pretty sure you can like see the bone for the most part. Oh god. Oh yeah, there's some bone there. Yep, that's some bone. Yep, how about there? Yep, there's the bar's kind of in the way, but yep, there's some bone there. It like snaps your fucking arm and your leg, and then she like gives you the eye, apparently, and then you just kind of like, I think you have like a heart attack or something. I think, like the bone breaking is fuck. Is that your bone right there? Jesus Christ! Like, I mean, I don't think the bone breaking actually kills you. It probably just hurts a lot. But I think, again, I don't know enough about like the Ring movies, but I think like what happens is like you die to like a heart attack or something, right? Like I thought that's how the Ring killed you. It's like you just like your heart stopped or some shit. So I think like she looks at you with the eye, like after she breaks your shit, she gives you like the eye, and then this eye look apparently like stops your heart or something. I think because even like the mini Mori, she just kind of like looks at you with the eye, and then you just kind of like basically here's the entire mini Mori, right? Like if you all know what the mini Mori is, it's this. Ready? There you go. That's the mini Mori. Like if you do the mini Mori, it's literally just that, but without the bone breaking, right? And their body is less like your leg obviously looks better. So I think the eye is like a heart attack or something. I don't know. But yeah, this is obviously pretty fucking brutal, right? Like the bone snapping. Like honestly, the more I'm looking at it too, the more sick it is because like when she picks you up, like your hands are like at your heart basically, right? Like you're holding your arms up, but it literally like pulls your arm. I didn't even really notice this before. It like pulls your arm away. And then you're like looking over at it like, wait, what's happening to my arm? And it's like, yeah, I'm coming for that leg too. God damn, dude. God damn. Oh, fuck. Ouch. Ouch. And the bone's sticking out too. Yowza, dude. I'm going to be honest. When I first saw this one, I was kind of meh about it. But now that I'm like really rewatching it, dude, this one's going in S tier. This one might even go above Hag. Like that was fucking brutal, dude. Like again, like there's like kind of like the struggle somewhat. There's like the bone snapping brutality. The only major thing that I have, the only major problem that I have with it is I find the eye thing plus the heart attack to be like first off kind of silly and second off kind of boring. Like the bone snapping and shit is insane. But like when it zooms in on the eye, again, I can't help but laugh. I just think it's silly. I think it looks fucking silly. Again, I'm not like I don't know anything about Ring or like the Japanese Ringu or whatever. I don't know really anything about any of it. So to me, it just kind of looks silly to like zoom in on her eye and then all of a sudden you're like convulsing on the ground. It just looks silly. But the rest of it is fucking brutal. And even the eye thing seems pretty cool because it seems like it adds to like her personality and what she does. I think I'm gonna keep that one in S tier. That one was brutal. That one kind of hurt to watch. Like it hurt to rewatch. I'm gonna be honest. And I mean that's it. I think the more I'm looking at this, I need to go rewatch Nurses real quick because I feel like maybe I put Nurses. Wow, I went right to it on accident. I didn't even mean to do that. I think maybe I put it too high. Like again, this is why it's hard because you start out with all the killers that were like new. Let's just watch it again. Flip them, flick onto their face, choke them out. They're struggling. They're trying to get you off, and you're like, nope, choking you out. They go limp. You close their eyes. I mean, that's still pretty sick. It's still pretty sick. Does it belong in S tier levels of sick? I don't know. Is it better than Spirit? I mean, I feel like I should compare it to Spirits because Spirits is literally the one that I have next to it, right? So maybe I should compare it to Spirits. Let's do that. Let's watch Spirits again. That way we can compare them. Because I think that's really the thing here, right? Is like, is it better or worse than Spirit? If Spirits is better, then maybe we'll have to reconsider some things. Playing behind him, nothing personal, kids. Sword. God, the camera work on this one is just so nice. No, I think I like Nurses better. Nope, yep, no. I think this placement's fine. Yeah, you know what? On second thought, I think this placement's fine. Like, Experience is undeniably cool, but there's something like super like personal about Nurses, right? There's something about just like choking someone out while they're struggling and like closing their eyes and shit. On top of like the blinking on top of them being cool too. On top of the pancake flip as well, starting it off. I think this is good. I think this is good. I'm happy with this. I'm actually happy with this tier list. I thought I was going to have to make some changes, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm actually completely happy with it. This is totally cool. This is my final tier list. I think this is what I think. I'm not even going to move around any of the top ones either. Again, if you wanted to make any arguments for like these top ones, I could totally get it, right? Oni's was a lot more brutal than I remembered it. Like that one is fucking rough, dude. My God. But Legions is still the best to me. I just think there's something about the like sloppiness of it and like realism of it that just kind of irks me and like it bothers me, I guess. Like it feels like the most accurate portrayal of actually seeing someone get murdered, which is just fucked. Like it's so fucked. So I feel like it has to stay top of the S tier. I think Ghostface's is also just legendary because of the selfie, right? Like come on, dude. Like that's just fucking legendary. And yeah, that's it. I think this is the whole tier list. I think that's it. I had fun making this. This was just strictly a for fun video. Hope you guys enjoyed like listening to it. It's probably gonna get demonetized because I've sworn. I think I've sworn. I think I've said curse words like 1,000 times throughout this video. On top of the fact that we've just done nothing but watch people get murdered. So I think this video will probably end up getting demonetized. Hopefully it doesn't fuck with like the like search result thing because this is a really fun video to make and I hope a lot of people watch it and can have a laugh with me about some things. Hope you guys like this. If you guys did like it, feel free to give it a like. Helps you out with the algorithm. Maybe some people will actually be able to see this video. If you guys also liked it, feel free to sub because I'm going to be uploading literally daily. And also, I'm live on Twitch 6 nights a week over at twitch.tv/OhTofu, so you guys can feel free to stop by and say hello sometime if you guys like. And that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your nights. Also, let me know what you guys think, by the way. I did forget to say that. Let me guys know what you think about the tier list. If you think that I was wrong about some things, if you think there's some people that I rated way too low, way too high, leave a comment. I'm curious to know your thoughts. And that's it for me. Until next time, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your night. I'm out of here. See ya. I'll take care. See ya. See you later. See ya.